Our Saints Row hands-on was full of brilliantly chaotic combat and brunch jokes. This could be the open-world crime-fighting game that you've been craving. The Saints Row reboot has no dildo bats and dubstep guns, and it features a new cast of millennials and Gen Zers desperate to become crime lords without increasing their carbon footprint. But trust us, there is still a ton of fun to be had. The reboot is updating its values while still refusing to take itself too seriously. This creates a few pain points, but not enough to make our Saints Row hands-on any less enjoyable. Just like any other Saints Row title, you play a crime boss trying to establish ownership over a city by doing tons of illegal shit.
Damn. Sounds like no karaoke tonight.
Every fucking time, man.
Do I want to know what happened to the banderos who stripped your car?
Sorry, Nina. Self-defense.
But unlike other Saints Row titles, this is a newer, younger cast with student loans, an affinity for karaoke, and a solid moral compass, despite all the stealing and killing and stuff. Saints has always been a game about interpersonal relationships between the boss and their lieutenants, but this is really a game about found family and the friendships that are cultivated as people build up this empire together. A UI artist on the dev team told us at the hands-on event.
We're gonna have to go through your crew, Nina.
Los Panteros aren't my crew anymore. Eli and Kev are all that matters.
You ready?
Let's get our boys back home.
When we told them that we have also considered a life of crime in order to pay off our student debts, they agreed. It's just like the millennial fantasy of your parents apologizing, she pointed out while laughing. You and your friends, who are also your roommates, have grown disillusioned. Working for the three core gangs, you decide to cut ties and start your own illegal operations, with your customized character at the helm. You're free to customize your boss in a variety of wild and gender non-conforming ways. The devs told us that nothing is locked by gender, which results in us making an impossibly buff but feminine gang leader, who could crush your head like a grape but look fabulous doing it. The moment our gang argues over which car to boost based on its carbon footprint, it's crystal clear that this is a Saints Row for a new generation of identities, beliefs, and financial problems. Self-expression has become so huge with the people who are younger now, of course, they want games to let them be their most authentic self. Sometimes you can't do that in real life, the devs told us.
Why am I seeing gunfire at the back of that convoy?
When? Well, there were motorcycles and then a turret and one thing led to another.
But how does a rebooted Saints Row play? It's easy to jump in and out of moving cars, mantling up and over ledges feels relatively smooth, and combat has some fun variations that make for exciting firefights. Even the car combat feels new and interesting. You can sideswipe enemy vehicles or climb onto the roof of a moving car to get a better shot. And the cars handle brilliantly too. We were especially fond of a move that lets you grab an enemy, shove a grenade down their pants, and throw them back at their allies. And a melee maneuver that lets you kick a bad guy in the genitals and slap him in the face a couple of times as they fall to their knees. We came to enjoy the breezy quick gunplay of Saints Row. It's not going to rival today's top shooters, but let's face it, it's not supposed to. There are some great quality of life features that make the experience more enjoyable, like bright purple arrows hovering over the street to lead you to marked points of interest, and an easy-to-read map with clear, bright icons. However, Saints Row's first mission had us worried that all the game's set pieces would feel the same. You're chasing a bad guy through a town that looks like the set of a Disney Western, blowing up explosives to take out his henchmen, and ultimately dangling from the jet that he's trying to escape on. It's absurd and ridiculous, but feels a bit gluey, and doesn't look all that great. Some ham-handed dialogue doesn't make it any better, and we're relieved when it's over, and we can finally roam free around San D'Alesso.
Keep it up, team. Let them have it.
Yeah, you guys fucked with the wrong multinational private military corporation.
Thankfully, a later mission brings redemption as you fight on a dance floor bathed in bisexual lighting. It looks good and feels even better, and with a few new abilities and weapons under our belt, we made quick work of the rave kids. A friend's post-fight quip about how a hospital visit is out of the question because they're uninsured has us laughing through the next cutscene. Saints Row is fun, and there's no denying that. Even with a change in tone more reflective of how the culture has shifted during its near 10-year hiatus, there are still traces of Saints Row's iconic and biting satire in this reboot. A side mission tasks you with leaving a bad review at a local business and then surviving the outrage as superfans rush to the business in order to find you and beat the living shit out of you. Another one asks you to try and clean up an RV park by towing what is basically the Breaking Bad meth lab out of the park, and then taking it off-site to blow it up after using it as a battering ram, just like that absurd Fast 5 vault scene.
And that's the game.
And yes, there's still insurance fraud, which gives you the option to get repeatedly struck by cars to collect a hefty insurance check. The military-industrial complex is alive and well in Sant'Alesso, and Saints Row isn't afraid to skewer it, lining it up right alongside financial inequality, rent prices, climate change deniers, and anarchists.
Pew pew.
In one mission, the idols, who crave chaos and want to eradicate the man, steal from a guy who is trying to start his own business, and you're tasked with taking the supplies back. As you fight your way through the gang members who look like they just walked off the Coachella grounds, you snarkily point out that the idols just stole from one of the little guys that they say they're trying to fight for. This feels especially pointed in the current cultural climate.
Thing is, they belong to one of the little guys you say you fight for, so...
There are no little guys.
But at times the juxtaposition of the old Saints' ridiculous and the new Saints' appeal to the contemporary zeitgeist feels at odds with each other. There's a cringiness to the new core crew that wears off after a few hours of gameplay, but may be tough to shake for some players. One player has a tattoo sleeve that's breakfast themed, and he won't stop talking about brunch in a very heavy-handed, hello fellow kids kind of manner. The dialogue sometimes seems like it was written by a middle-aged person trying to appeal to Gen Z. But once you get past the opening mission, it feels like Saints Row, and its characters start to warm up. They start to feel less like archetypes and more like real people. So is it that far-fetched to consider that a Saints Row reboot could successfully hold on to its specific brand of satire and stupidity while removing the things that feel antiquated and, quite frankly, needlessly offensive? For some die-hard fans, the new Saints Row may have strayed too far from its source material, but for a new generation of gamers, this may be the open-world crime game that you've been craving.
Sure, if you want to die. With my system, all we gotta do is push a button.
How about I do insurance fraud my way, and you do it your way?
You're the boss. Just be careful out there.